I'm really glad. Do they make you parallel park on it? Can you get that car between those two cars? No, I can't. I'll just drive out till one of those cars leaves. On TV car shows, they never review cars like I would. Does it smell nice? Does it have a little compartment for sanity towels and a twirl? Does it have a nap lever? You know the nap lever? I love a nap lever. That's how I pick a car. Comedians often sleep in their cars if they get tired when doing long drives. And I don't want a turny wheel. I want a nap lever.
Boston!
You can get celebrity voices on your sat-nav now. I've got George Michael on mine. You haven't reached your destination, but hurl yourself out of the car anyway. I think I should do one. In 200 yards, you will have reached a Greg's. I know you're going to Aberdeen, but you're bound to get peckish. In America, in the 50s, apparently 70% of girls lost their virginity in a car. Just be more careful of the gear stick when you get in. Now, I do like driving, but I think I need a little more convincing about car programmes. So please welcome top TV motoring expert, Quentin Wilson. Thanks for joining us. Now, I like the colour, but where's the rest of it? I think you should drive. Get yourself in, love.
Where are we going?
Would you like to know? Okay.
Seatbelts.
Seatbelt on, safety
Always,
first. Flower.
always.
Seatbelt on. Did you mind if I put my boobs on the outside of it? No. I don't like it down the middle. I can't get it in.
John.
And I've got the boobs. Is that all right? That's better, isn't it?
That's
Boobs
lovely.
on the outside. Smashing. Now, thanks very much for joining us on the show. Mind the gear stick and none of that. Oh,
No.
I'm just reaching for the handbrake. Does it feel like a thigh? I don't think so. You are a motoring aficionado, a journalist and an all-round expert.
So they say.
So what I'd like to know is, have you ever had sex in a car?
Yes.
Were you in the front or the back?
In the back.
You were in the back?
Yeah.
Were they in the back as well, or was it like this sort of setup where they had to lean over?
Well, it was... Both the seats were back down, so it was kind of like a handy double bed.
Oh, you'd planned it.
Yeah, meticulously.
Meticulously, you dirty bugger. Do you ever fantasise about two ginormous airbags going off in your face?
Occasionally.
Don't we all, love? Don't we all? You say the way to save money is to pretend like you've got your nana in the back seat.
Yes, to drive like you've got the old people in the back, so you drive progressively.
But that would frighten the shit out of me because my nana's been dead for 10 years. Did you decide on your hairstyle after driving an open-top car?
Yeah. It's the wind chill effect.
Just go with it.
Aerodynamics, absolutely.
Okay, now I've got a compartment here. This is good. That's good. It's got the nighttime ones.
That's good to know.
It's good to know because they're super, so they're not quite the full I am.
No.
'Cause the full I am you need ours
Yeah.
for. So I've got those.
The seats will be fine.
Yeah, the seats will be fine. And then the same compartment, I've got a multi-pack, so if you get peckish, just give us a shout.
But this is what they should have on car programmes, isn't
Exactly.
it?
Thank you.
Not Lamborghinis.
No, it should have wardrobe up with sanitary towels. If cars, some people think that a car is sort of a penis extension, don't they, if it's a flashy car.
A lot of people think that.
Why don't all rabbis drive convertibles?
It's a very good question. You have to ask a rabbi.
I will, next time I see one. Excuse me, just if you don't mind while you're driving, I'm just going to get my tash. I've got my tweezers. I've got another little compartment just for tweezers. And I'll just have a little go. Oh, fuck my face. Got it. Yay. You can have that back now just in case it's important. You're welcome. What do you think is the worst car in the world ever? I love that you just straightened your mirror even though we're technically not going anywhere. That's brilliant, isn't it?
Now you've spoiled it for them.
Oh, did they really thought that we were driving
I know,
to...
and so did I.
Which is your favourite Magic Tree air freshener? Is it like ice, or
I've not had the black ice one.
Oh,
I've always had the lavender ones.
lavender? Your cars must all smell like old ladies. Because your nana's in the back, isn't it? That's why. Put the lavender in for her. Now, whose voice do you have on your sat-nav? Do you have a voice on your sat-nav?
No, I just have a normal, disembodied female voice.
Is that how you like your women? You've been a brilliant guest. Thank you ever so much, but you are a terrible, terrible driver.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Quentin Wilson. Thanks very much, sir. You know what I've noticed? We all really love a good old gruesome murder, don't we? There've been loads of them on telly this year. What I want to know is, why is it okay to watch a murder on the telly with your family, but not a sex scene? If a nipple is licked, you instantly turn over. But if that nipple is being removed by pliers, you stay there, Granda. You enjoy this, Granda. Crime drama can teach you all sorts of things. CSI taught me how to find out who ate the last biscuit. Me. Did you see The Fall?
Yes.
In one episode, the killer strangled a woman, then spent time preparing her body afterwards. It was horrific. I was watching it with my friend. The killer bathed her, painted her nails, posed her on the bed and covered her bits. We were just watching silently. Then he cut some of her hair off and sniffed it. At that point, my friend said, "Now that's creepy." You know, sometimes when you're doing something you shouldn't, do you ever think, God, I hope I don't die now? I've made a list of ways you wouldn't want to be found dead. On a sex line. What if you hadn't hung up? If your family's saying we couldn't afford a funeral, his phone bill was huge. Watching internet porn? You think you're having a heart attack, but instead of ringing an ambulance, you choose to spend your last moment minimising and bringing up solitaire. With your family saying we didn't know you liked solitaire that much. Your dying words should never be, delete me browser history. Lying in a bath full of trifle. With my family saying we didn't even think it was for children in need. With an orange in your mouth, you know, that thing that some people do. Eating fruit. I'd hate to die eating fruit. My family saying we had no idea she was into this sort of thing. It's like we didn't know her at all. I often eat chocolate in bed in hotels, and sometimes when I finish the bar and slide down under the covers, I create real skiddies on the sheets. It was just me twirl. So I leave the twirl wrap out so the cleaner can make the connection. She goes, "Oh, ah." And if I actually shit myself, I leave 5 twirl packets out. Shows, they often refer to hookers doing tricks. Well, like what? Making balloon animals. Just pulling rabbits out. One of my favourite crime shows on telly is Law & Order UK. Star of the show, Bradley Walsh, is the first crime show actor ever to simultaneously host a quiz show. I'd like to see more of that. Maybe Jim Bowen in a British version of Columbo. Just one more thing. You've won a speedboat! To assist in my crime drama investigation, please welcome Bradley Walsh. Hello, lovely Bradley. Welcome to the show. How are you, Flower?
I'm very well, Sarah. Thanks very much. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks. Now, you are in Law and Order. Which one are you? And who plays Laura? Now, Law and Order is an American show starring Ice-T, and they also have NCIS Los Angeles starring LL Cool J. So, Bradley, do you think when it came to making the UK version that you were the first choice?
Yes.
Or maybe they approached Dizzy Rascal.
No, what happened was eventually they If they were getting, you know, in the American version, I've been asked to go in the American version, and they asked me to change my name. I was just going to be called TWAT.
You starred in a few British versions of American shows. Wheel of Fortune, Law and Order. What's next? Like Baywatch set in Morecambe? With people just eating chips on a bus? But in slow motion? You in an orange swimsuit, I can picture it now. Shouting, out of the water, the sewage outlet's backing up. Did you prepare for the role by breaking shitloads of laws?
No, I prepared for the role by the method.
Did you just read your lines and then remember them? Yeah. Do you ever take the handcuffs home? That's a yes, isn't it? Yes, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
You've never taken them home?
No.
No.
No, I don't use handcuffs in the show.
You don't use handcuffs in the show, so you had to buy your own from a sex shop. That's totally a yes. Do you ever get confused for an actual policeman?
I get confused in my own mind and often become a policeman and tell people off.
Really? And did it...
Yeah.
In what situation? What have you told somebody off doing?
Well, I've caught people in hotel rooms making skid marks with chocolates on their pillows.
You've been such a brilliant guest. Thank you very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, Bradley Walsh!
Thanks, Sarah.
Now, I'll tell you what I like on telly, and maybe it's because I'm around a lot during the day, but I love quiz shows. Although I'm not very good at them. I used to hate Countdown because it made me feel thick. I like it now. I'm much better at it now. Ever since you can pause the telly. I used to love Are You Smarter Than a 10-year-old? Mainly because there's very little that makes me happier than a really smug, clever child crying on the telly. Just because they don't know the difference between equilateral and isosceles triangles. The only reason they get things right is because they learnt them last week. I think there should be a version of the show where they have to do the things we have to do. It would be called Are You As Depressed as a 40-year-old? And the things they'd have to do would be change broadband providers. Try to explain to a mechanic what's wrong with your car. I once used the phrase, it sounds like there's a budgie under the bonnet. They'd have to bleed a radiator and lie to a doctor about how much they drink. But why stop there? What about for the older generation? How about, are you as confused as an 80-year-old? With questions like, what used to be here? Was it better in the old days? And is it A, warm enough, or B, not warm enough? I tried Nick Grimshaw's panel show, Sweat the Small Stuff, and I liked it. But if young people get their own panel show, then older folk should too. I've come up with a few titles for panel shows for older people. Smock the Week. Never mind the immigrants. 8 out of your 10 cats. Instead of would I lie to you, it would be can I lie down for a bit? QI would become Q here. And my favourite, who do you think I am? Games you play at home are often turned into telly, like charades became Give Us a Clue. But there is one game that's not on the telly but should be. The great big family row. What are they playing for? A share of Nana's house. I especially love Pointless. Alexander Armstrong always asks the contestants where they met. I'd love it if one of them said, he's a dick, but he knows about classical music and geography. I love Richard Osman on Pointless. He's like a tea-time Stephen Fry, and he looks like Mr. Muscle went to university. What if I said that he's with me in the studio tonight? That would be Pointless.
Very well.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's lovely to have
It's
you
a
here.
pleasure.
So, Richard, I read somewhere that you'd filled Anne Robinson's old slot.
I'll be honest, it took me and Xander both to do that.
I love the undeniable sexual tension between you and Alexander Armstrong. Would you describe it as a bromance? Like, would you be the big spoon?
People do say I like the unrequited sexual tension between you, to which I always say it's not unrequited.
Millions of people love the show.
Thank you.
Who do you think they are? Well, no, but it's a certain time of day, isn't it? It'll be old people, it'll be students, it'll be people who are bedbound and just can't find the remote. People trapped in their sofas. Comedians, hello.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if you left anyone off, but I don't think...
That's it.
No, but at 5:15, a lot of people finish work at 5.
And then you get home as quickly as you can, so
To
you
watch
can watch
Pointless.
Pointless. That's why it's not on at 5 o'clock, it's on a quarter past. Gives you a bit of time to get the bus.
That's where the chase goes wrong, starting at 5 o'clock. No one's getting home at 5 unless you work from home.
Well, you wouldn't say that if Bradley Walsh had been in the studio.
Yeah, but he's not here, is he?
He's not.
He was in I know he's got an underground sex dungeon, and I think that's where he was talking from. It looked like it, didn't it?
It did look
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. What's the stupidest answer anyone's ever given?
We had one the other day. Well, it's not the other day. We had words ending ZZ, and on the first podium, the contestant was a student, and he just immediately went, "Cheers."
Was it pointless?
It was pointless. In the dictionary, it doesn't mean what you might imagine it means. It means what an animal sort of looks like when you catch it out of the corner of your eye. The jizz of an animal.
The jizz of the animal in my head is something quite different.
Yeah.
That's all of this.
But but you understand. A rabbit's jizz is very different to. Come on. A rabbit's jizz is very different to a cat's jizz, for example.
This is the longest conversation I've had about jizz ever, and I'm loving it.
Sarah, everybody here knows that's not true.
When you're sitting at your desk, what's on the screen in front of you? Is it porn?
All I'm looking at, Sarah, is just animals from the corner of my eye.
Do you think you would do well if you played Pointless?
I think, well, I should do all right. But sometimes categories come up which would trip you up.
Well, since I've got you here,
OK.
why don't we find it? Let's play my version of Pointless. Here we go. Right. Our first category, we asked 100 people. We didn't, it was just me. To name things that are better if they're bigger.